The N1 Starfighter represents the pinnacle in Naboo military technology. Armed with twin laser cannons and proton torpedoes, the agile N1 is designed for patrol and escort missions. Deflector shields protect the pilot, while an onboard astromech aids in navigation and repairs.
Hello, and welcome to Building Naboo Part 2. Well, I knew if I was going to make a Naboo MOC that there was one thing that I was going to absolutely need, and that was the N1 Starfighter. And sure, I could have used the Lego model, however, the Lego model is quite big, and so to feasibly build a MOC around that would mean that it would have to be even bigger, and I didn't really want to do that. Also, I thought that this would be a neat time to use some colors that I really hope the LEGO group uses on the next official N1 Starfighter. That being metallic silver and light bright orange. I think they look really well for making the Naboo Starfighter. As you can see here, that's the classic yellow, which the LEGO group has used in all but one N1 Starfighter, that being Mando's N1 Starfighter, but which did have some light bright orange highlights. But as you can see, there's a clear difference between the classic yellow and light bright orange. And so I think that it looks a lot better, in my opinion. I think it captures more so the look from the film. And then, of course, the metallic silver, I think is a good compromise. I know that LEGO doesn't want to use chrome pieces hardly, if ever, anymore, because chrome is known to chip. And, you know, that's a shame, but I understand their concern. However, I think metallic silver is a really good compromise. I think it stands out a lot more than just plain gray. Yeah, so in looking into the building techniques that I had to use for this, it's a lot of studs not on top construction, and that is particularly true for the front here, which we'll take a look at in a minute here. But as you can see, I captured the two guns there using the candle piece. I wish that came in metallic silver so that I could have used that there. Unfortunately, it does not. So I used flat silver instead, which works all right. Then the wings had to be connected using the clip bar connections there and there. And so, unfortunately, because I don't have, or because it doesn't exist, the 1x1 modified with bar, it doesn't exist in light bright orange, so I had to use pearl gold on the rear connections for the engine. I think it's fine. It doesn't stand out too much. The only real difference between this N1 and the actual one is the wingspan. I got the shape of the body pretty correct, but the wings go out a lot farther in either direction. But I think this is pretty good as far as downscaling it. I think you definitely get the general shape of it, while also having it be a manageable size. If we go ahead and spin around, you can see that on the back of the engines here, this was the best cone that I could make out of the available light bright orange pieces, and that piece has only ever come as a droid head, so there are not any plain ones on the market, and as much as I would love to turn those into plain ones, that droid head costs like $3, and honestly, I don't think it looks bad enough to like go ahead and remove the print from there. So I think it looks fine. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Taking a look here at the back, we can see that I've added a little engine there. Just sort of in building it, I had the option to do that. I figured, why not? I think that looks fine. And then inside of the trans blue dome, I actually added the neon yellow disc pieces, because of the fact that they light up under the black light, and so I think it gives the engines a little bit of an extra glow to them when looked under a black light. But then we'll go ahead and we'll move to the front, and we'll go ahead and flip it over and take a closer look. So, taking a look at the bottom side of the ship here, you can see that it is almost a one-to-one recreation of the top side of the ship, at least here in the front, because this piece in metallic silver does not come as an inverted piece in metallic silver. And so I actually had to flip the build and put it together using an illegal building technique. So as you can see from opening that up, I used a technically illegal building technique of going ahead and I added those two Technic pins into this brick here. And so that allows me to add the bottom one, which is a really similar build to the top here. And you can kind of see the inner workings, where I had to use a lot of these 2x2 without the corner L-shaped pieces in metallic silver. I had to use a lot of those because of the fact that these curved pieces have just that little gap right there in between each one. And so in order to cover that, I had to use metallic silver pieces. And luckily, the Lego Agents line really helped me out with that. But so if we go ahead and just plop the bottom back on there, You can see it just fits on nice and snug like that. And then I did add a couple of these grill slopes to give the illusion of having the proton torpedo shooter under there. And I even used, I don't know if you can tell, I don't think you're going to be able to tell, but that's alright. I put a trans medium blue plate under there, hoping that it would light up under black light. You can't quite see it on the camera, but it's there. As you can see on the sides, I did try to finish off some of the bottom with metallic silver. However, trying to keep the shape was a little difficult, and especially with such a limited range of parts from the metallic silver color, it was a little hard, and so I think I did just about the best I could do. But we'll go ahead and flip it over and give you a closer look at some of the fine details on it. So inside the cockpit, I did put a pilot, just sort of to show perspective. You can also see inside of the cockpit that I used the the 2x2 rounded tile with the sticker from Mando's N1 Starfighter. It was the easiest of the Naboo computers to put in there, and also I think it looks the nicest, though the 1991 or the 1999 N1 Starfighter 2x2 slope, that does have a pretty good design on it. However, I think the flat design works a bit better. We've got up top, we've got our little R2 unit there. He fits in pretty well. Obviously, you're not going to get that perfect slope. Unfortunately, that's something that you need like an entirely new piece for. It's a really hard shape to accomplish, and I think if LEGO makes another N1, they should consider making just a new piece for the back of the N1 cockpit to accomplish that slope. Now, while I think I did a pretty good job with the front, I do think it's kind of a shame that there's really no way to get this to be more round. And also, because of the way that it's designed, it does kind of look like a little face there. That was unintentional, but I think kind of a funny end result. Now, the engines on both sides are actually connected using bars through the middle. It just ended up being a lot easier than Technic rods, and I was able to add on these dish pieces. Unfortunately, there weren't like any half rounded pieces, and so they do have kind of a blocky design at some points, but there's really not a whole lot that I can do about that. Easily the rarest piece, I think, in this has got to be those wheels in metallic silver, but they look really good for the front of the engine, and I'm glad that I used them. Now, one interesting thing that I noticed while building with light bright orange is, obviously a lot of my building, I do want to look good under particularly black light. I find it really fascinating how LEGO colors react to black light, and it's unfortunate that trans medium blue, trans neon green, and trans neon orange all seem to be retired colors, or very close to retirement colors, seeing as they all react under black light. However, what I found was that apparently, if we take a look at the light bright orange, some pieces in light bright orange under black light, they get a lot lighter, and then some pieces, like you can see over there, they actually get quite a bit darker, like those pieces, and then like these get lighter, and some of them just sort of stay the same. But I don't know why it does that. I'm not entirely sure if it's just different batches or what could be the cause of that. But I think that's kind of really interesting that it lights up that way. Now, as cool as it would be to make this ship with all light bright orange pieces that get lighter under black light, that would be a pain in the butt to try and order that many pieces and sort through them with a black light. So I'm not going to do that. But I just thought that would be kind of an interesting fun fact to point out. Now, a brief little update to part 1, or part 1.3. I decided to make an Imperial Naboo security force. They use those First Order black hats, though without the logo. And then I think it's the First Order Major body, the sort of blue Imperial garb. I think those turned out pretty well, and I've replaced all the troopers on the flash speeder with them. The tank trooper is still there, but they are now the primary troopers, or soldiers, on the flash speeder. I also upgraded the chairs in the back of each flash speeder, just to make them look more like chairs. And the front of the Imperial flash speeder, I did find a piece without that marking on it, and so I went ahead and changed that. I went ahead and I threw the other troopers here near the edge. There's also another trooper here that I added. He's got a little bottle. He's sort of given up on the whole fight. But I thought he'd be a neat little detail to throw in. Also, because I didn't really know of a better place to put this, as far as the series on the MOC goes, I did build a small Imperial version of the Naboo Swamp Speeder. It's a ship in the Battle for Naboo game, which is where I'm drawing a lot of my reference material from. Obviously, if you know the game, this ship is like very hard to unlock unless you use a passcode. And I think it's kind of neat that they designed this whole ship. Um, Kind of unfortunate that it never got any use outside of the game, because I think it's a neat looking ship. So I tried to relatively faithfully recreate what I thought like a 20 or 30 years down the line upgraded version would look like. I tried to give it some of that dark blue striping that I think the Imperial version of the security force are going to be using through the MOC. As well as I added an Imperial Naboo security force officer driving it. And I think it came out pretty well. And so I look forward to you guys seeing it on the MOC. Now, speaking of seeing things on the MOC, you may be wondering where the N1 Starfighter fits in. And no, it's not going above. I've already shown you the top of the MOC. No, it's going below in its own special hangar. And, well, let's just say that was quite the endeavor to accomplish a little hangar for the N1. And I look forward to showing you guys that in the next video. So until then, bye-bye.
A well-armored land speeder, the GN Speeder is used chiefly for crowd control and other non-combat situations. Although fairly slow, the GN Speeder is sturdy and reliable.
You are under arrest.
Thanks, where are you? My vehicle is damaged. I can't take much more of this.
I'm on it.
Kill him.
I'm losing power. My engines are damaged. Help me out here.